And Hope on his 20th game of misfortune has just been destroying. Now, Betty, step up to the plate along with Xiaohu. And I guess that's another question as well, isn't it? Can Xiaohu finally reach the level of Scout? Game 2, Xiaohu was nothing. Hello, Zatai again. What a handsome man. As we run into Game 3, the music ramps up. Because RNG against Match Point, now they need the reverse sweep. It's a big ask, but RNG have done it before, especially against EDG. More of that soon as we run onto the Rift once more.
EDG find themselves on Match Point here. One more game to push them through into the quarterfinals. And again, we're seeing a very similar style of composition come through for them. And the most important part for me here is Mako back onto his Nautilus. This is the 17th game for Mako on this Nautilus, and has been such an important part of this team fighting composition. With him setting up these engages, depth charges have been on point, but he's got to try and do it against RNG now that have got a lot of survivability in the Lamb's Respite. The Black Shield that can throw a wrench into the works for both Audi and Mako. And this is really where we will see these massive team fights as two incredible organizations, two of the most storied organizations in the LPL, would butt heads once again.
But let's hold the phone a bit, because with the Zoe, we know the poke that comes through. Betty, this time, who never ever opts in for lethality virus, will be pulling this out in Game 3. So already we've got the set up for RNG to poke away through the mid game.
And if RNG then can find the success that they have found in the early game, their siege potential is sky high. Early gank here from Junja.
Yeah, okay, Dredge line going to come through. Junja with a good pillar onto Betty. EDG were backing away, but now on top of Betty, they're going to get the lockdown here. Heal was burnt by the virus. Looking for the turnaround, but won't find it, as Hope uses the heal as well.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, back home is why you don't level a spell until you actually need it. Especially if you're playing this Morgana, that Black Shield. Don't usually level at that first level, but this was where it made that big difference.
Shallenbao being sneaky meanwhile, though. Mako good dodge away from the Dark Binding as Shallenbao pings are going down. Junja's coming down, but so is Xiaohu. Good pillar out. I think he has to flash this wall. He's caught out everyone on top of him. The flash. Now, Junja actually going to be turning around instead. No, does flash in the end as well as Mako and Hope try to give him some assistance.
Again, this is the pressure points we're talking about from RNG, though. Xiaohu pushing in, and you've got Xiaolongbao who's already taken control of that river. The pincer was on point, but they do force the flash out of Junja. This is now going to keep Junja a little bit more honest in the early game, because if he runs into Xiaolongbao in a counter gank, he won't be able to escape as easily.
So now we take stock of where we're at. With that no flash with the gold picked up. Small CS lead in that bottom lane, while Xiaohu's getting bullied out. We saw before, Scatter the Weak and the pressure that comes through. With Xiaohu now at half health, having to burn through all of his Corrupting Potion, while Scout still has a refillable in hand.
Yeah, so Xiaohu does have control of this early levels where he's able to push in really effectively. Zoe can clear out the back minions with the Paddle Star and makes it really difficult for Scout to try and push this wave. But the big thing is when he hits that level 6 part, or level 6 for Scout, having the ultimate available, the Unleash power, can really force back Xiaohu, and that's where the kill pressure can come in.
See if Shallenbao can get there as well, because if we talk about mid 2v2, we've been looking at it all series long here for RNG. Shallenbao, the ability to deny that burst from the Syndra, definitely available with the Lamb's Respiters. Junja, he's only level 2. He's going to have to smite that one away and does. Hits level 3 now for Shallenbao, wants to duel this one away, but Lungxing is coming in. Junja doesn't care though. Doesn't have the flash available, otherwise he might go in. The knock up here, the Searing Charge, the Bellows Breath to secure first blood with the auto attack. And now Audi left out to the win with RNG in an early advantage.
Junja, yes, you win the 1v1, but the problem is it's not the case. Longxing had pushed in the top lane, and he was able to move across first. And with Xiaohu coming back from base, with Scout not being able to push in as aggressively in this mid lane as he would have liked, Xiaohu gets across first as well.
Now Ming with the Dark Binding here. Ignite's going to go down. He flashes away, but now they turn on to Betty. Hope has the damage. The double up's great. Hope still with the flash available. Matched by Mako, and he whacks a few and gives one over to Hope as well. The bottom lane again.
And this time, Hope and Mako are doing it by themselves. And look at the size of this wave that they're going to miss here for Betty and Ming. This is going to set them super far behind.
So now, top side versus bot already set up here for the side of RNG versus EDG.
And this is beautiful. A very early Black Shield from Ming, and the second that's down, Mako knows he's got the all-in available. Ignite straight off the bat, forces a flash out of Ming, and Mako's doing an amazing job here of holding on to when he's got the cooldown available on the passive to get the roost once again. Top lane though?
Yeah, we're coming back a bit early. Audi gets low because Ornn, the assassin, takes a big trade against this Mordekaiser. Hellos Breath good again. Lungxing getting baited in. Shalombao's coming up, but here is spotted Junja. They try and turn on the Mordekaiser. Lungxing has a good knock up. Flashes away though. Audi needs one more bit of damage. Won't get in time, but Shalombao comes in with a smite. The smackdown with the obliterate, and Shalombao gets out with a mark in hand.
That was so close, but Audi tanking up all those creeps goes incredibly low, and Xiaolongbao can get the turnaround. Mako, you're too late to the party here. What EDG were trying to do was call what RNG were going to attempt on this next play. You've lost bottom lane, you assume EDG are going to go towards Dragon, so Junja was trying to make a greedy play to pick off Xiaolongbao on this gank towards the top side. Problem was, Eddie takes way too much damage in setting up the play for Longxing, and then he falls to Xiaolongbao.
Big Ornn now, just to note here, about a 20 CS lead up in that top lane, and Xiaolongbao picks up another early kill again. But as we've said in previous games, we want to see how RNG can push this tempo even further, because they've got a game plan in mind. They're looking to put Audi behind before he even gets off the ground.
And that play has got to be on the top side of the map for RNG, because if they opt into this 1v1, or sorry, into this play on the bottom side, the 1v1 between Betty and Hope is going to go in favor of Hope. Even though he's gone the double Dorans and also the Cull, maybe that will even up the play a little bit, but still the level advantage for Hope is going to say so much more when it comes to those stats.
It is the little things about EDG though, like what we just saw on our screen with Junja taking away the Scuttle Crab. That was another mark for Xiaolongbao. And with Kindred, you know that it is also about getting early kills, early snowball, but also about getting your marks so you get that range advantage ASAP.
I want to see Hope try and get this level 6 ASAP as well. When you've got the Rift Herald coming up, if Hope can hit level 6 and then roam with the rest of EDG, they can use that level advantage we talked about between Betty and Hope heavily into their advantage. Otherwise, though, this is going to be a lot more difficult just because of the advantages Xiaolongbao has picked up, the survivability of the ultimate for that jungler, and also the great engage tool with Call of the Forge Guards.
Bottom lane roaming up, though, is Unleashed Power. I mean, you talked about level 6, and it happened.
That is... Oh, Junja!
Flanking Trundle out from his bridge.
Flanking the entirety of EDG, apparently.
Everyone wants to kill Xiaohu. Flash over the wall. They won't get it, but you know what? 4 members mid to push down this turret. A couple of bits of turret plating available, but they'll only take 1.
And they can now move over towards this dragon. The thing with Xiaohu, though, he can still play a little bit of a nuisance here because of the long range. On the Zoe, the low health doesn't matter as much if you can find your place where you can stay separate from EDG.
Audi has TP. You can see the Ornn is now mid. We're getting a look at that play in the bottom left while the Dragon's going on, because there's no contest, so that's going to be secured by RNG, but it's a good combo here from Scout in the mid lane.
I don't know why EDG didn't turn over towards the Dragon, though. I mean,
Sure.
you had the advantage. You'd push Xiaohu out. You still had the ultimate for Hope available, but now, though, they're going to look towards the Rift Herald instead, so it looks like the call was, okay, if we give the trade for RNG to take the Dragon, we'll have first priority on towards this Rift Herald, and we can use their tempo advantage RNG usually use back against them.
Especially since Scout is holding the mid lane fort down for now. Has a bit of a CS lead himself as well. As our eyes are back towards this top lane, because Lungxing is winning the lane. And a boy, keep firing the ornaments out. He's going to get there pretty close this game. As Junja, picking up that Rift Herald you were talking about before, Dagda, now has it available to put wherever he does desire.
So thanks to these ornaments, as this game goes later, it's definitely going to be RNG who are favored. You've got a massive amount of poke that can come through from Xiaohu. Betty's going to do a lot of work in these team fights as well. And you've got just this beefy Ornn in the top lane alongside the double AD carrying Xiaolongbao. EDG are relying more on this mid game where Hope is at his strongest off of those 2 items. And same with Scout, who can look to assassinate some of these members before Xiaolongbao can get the Lamb's Respite down.
We'll say Betty and Xiaohu. Gonna have to start building some MR here. Gonna build everything. Become tanks. No, don't. I want you all to notice that on our map, while we do have the Rift Herald getting taken away, we don't have a Dragon for a while, so things have slowed down a little bit here. Just getting control through River towards the bottom side for RNG, while Junja up towards the top side of the map. We're going to give a bit of a reprieve from Audi. Or for Audi, rather. Scout's going to be taking the blue as well. Hey, while we're in a bit of a lull, Dagda, I mentioned before going into this game that this is not the first time that a reverse sweep was needed. In the 2017 finals of Summer, we remember the RNG EDG. It was actually a fantastic finals. I recommend people to go back and watch it. RNG started the series off with a 2-game lead, but it was EDG who came back and took the reverse sweep. Now, RNG in a similar position, and yes, it is round 1, but we are asking for a miracle here. And in game number 3, they are starting here with a good gold lead, good pace to bring us into this next Dragon and to this 10-minute mark. And
RNG, throughout the split, have found their successes when they're ahead. This is why we've been talking about them so much, is they have a 72% win rate, 72.2% win rate after first blood, a 72.2% win rate after first tower. They go hand in hand. This is how RNG have been winning their games. But right now, it's EDG who've been able to dictate the pace of the mid to late game. And that's why we always talk about never being able to count EDG out. 40%, nearly 40% win rate when they're behind a 15. And RNG have just not been able to match them blow for blow when we get to that 25-minute mark.
Well, the highest in the league, RNG positioning.
The highest in the league.
Oh, yeah, okay. So remember, it was quite high for people like Road Warriors as well. As Junja going to be backing away from that one. Xiaohu unable to land the poke. You know what a Zoe does when she gets resources and she starts landing those trouble bubbles. But more importantly, Scout is the one with the lead in this lane and the shove. Scout of the week not going to connect either. RNG persistent here. Dark Binding not going to connect. They flash forward. Chains of Corruption there. Hope burns his own flashes. Mako now baiting them in. Remember, bullet time is available from Hope as the pillar comes down and Scout starts going aggro as well.
Lanqing going aggro in the top lane as well to stop Audi from joining in here.
All right, Audi does have the ultimate as the Call the Forge God is there. The Bellows Breath used, but Audi holds on to his ult for now.
So Audi below half won't want to try and contest if this fight is to kick off, but you can see Junjia has this Rift Herald still, so when you force Ming back, now they can make this play on the bottom side.
Xiao has exhaust, very close call onto Scout, and doesn't have to use that fake exhaust anyway. Xiaolongbao baiting him in, over the wall. Scout now in a bit of trouble. He has the flash available. Xiaolongbao matches that as well. Scout of the week not used in time, and Xiaolongbao not getting ahead of himself there.
Great bait from Xiaohu to draw Scout in. Oh, Betty though.
But we're diving in the bottom lane. Double flash comes through. Betty just dies to the subjugate, I believe, as a double kill for the Misfortune. And now we're really trying to push the tempo.
And Betty, who we talked about being the consistent member for RNG, makes a massive slip up. Not respecting that look, we've still got the Rift Herald on Junjia. Chances are he's going to want to use it on this bottom lane to help out Hope, because this is how they've always played. And it means that Betty and Ming both go down. 3 kills to Hope, a bunch of turret plates as well. It's a fantastic call for EDG.
Betty caught under turret, the bullet time at the Rift Herald, wow. Oh no. Was it the subjugate? No, it was just the auto attack that came through. Easy as you like.
Double kill for Hope. And now once again, we look towards Hope. The player with the least deaths in the LPL. If I'm going to invest gold anywhere, that is by far the safest resource.
We die a lot here, so that is a very impressive stat to say the least. BF sword in hand. Getting close to finishing off that cull as well. We're looking at top side, but I want you to ignore that for now. There is a slight gold lead for EDG in the form of about 500 gold up there on the scoreboard. Turret plating is going down, and we saw that Herald towards the bottom side, but another one spawning soon with Ocean Dragon getting spam pinged.
Yeah, Ming and Betty have pushed in really well on this bottom side, so now they're the first into River. They can get the vision control down, and it's up to EDG to try and group here and force them out. Watch where Scout is, though. He's going to be looking for access onto the back line.
Bullet time almost available, though. Maybe in EDG's best interest to try and delay this one out.
I think that's what they're trying to do. This is why you can see them poking in, making sure they're clearing out the vision, but not committing to anything. Problem is, though, a lot of RNG members are in mid, and only single player for EDG.
Trying to zone out Scout. Audi with the TP. Dragon is going to be taken. EDG okay giving this one over, but turret.
Was a little bit worried for Hope there. Wasn't sure if RNG were just going to run straight to the bottom lane and try and cut him off, but he gets the tower. First turret going over again into the hands of Hope. Now, though, TP to try and keep this turret mid-standing.
Be using this one. That's a big minion wave. All 5 members here. Drop bubble land. So does the Dark Fighting. They're all in. And Audi with a bit of a whoopsie. as the turret's going to go down as well, and EDG's top laner, that's the first time he's made a mistake this series.
And that's why we highlighted the siege potential from RNG in the champ select. Zoe, the Varus poke, and Ming to follow up on whatever CC lands means that they're able to take that mid lane tower. Now they're in a position for this next Rift Herald, but maybe EDG looking to fight here.
Okay, what ultimates are available? Everything here for EDG, but Audi not here and available without TP. Rift Herald as well, the snowball begins.
Mako holding mid lane as well meant that it was a 3 versus 5, and even with most of the key ultimates down from RNG, like Longxing's and also Betty's, they're still not confident in taking that fight. So now we get to see how do RNG start to swing this goal back in their favor. They're still about 1,000 goal behind, but the Rift Herald, if they can get a solid play off of that, can even it up.
That's exciting, right? Because RNG, if they play well within this game, then you say, okay, we've definitely got a series on our hand. I want to see this go forward here, because Longxing close to hope, but really, close is not the right word to use there. He is barreling ahead.
Yeah, 7,000 gold, and he's just had that goal popped as well. This is why he's been able to get so many resources. It's EDG funneling turret plates off that Rift Herald play, the Cole funneling into him, and the 3 kills as well. Hope is monstrous, but there is still ways for them to disrupt him. We talked about the call of the Forge God, if Ming can maybe hit a Dark Binding, or even some of those Trouble Bubbles from Xiaohu. Still a lot of pressure on Hope in these fights, but he seems to have thrived under the pressure that RNG have put on him in this series.
That's just why you're talking about threats to Hope. Also, remember that just the damage, the sheer amount of damage from Xiaohu and Betty will be so much for this 80 carry to handle. So there's a chance you just kill him before he gets his ult off.
Especially when Betty, again, opting in towards this lethality build.
Yep. You're
assisting Duka's Hope when you go for that bullet time. So if Betty can find a couple of these stray piercing arrows to get onto Hope, that damage could force EDG out of the fight.
Plus, you can't help but think about the success rate of the lethality virus paired with like a Zoe or a LeBlanc through the mid laners. Audi's being bullied this game. Knock up against the turret. Minion wave going to be cleared though. Bao going in. Good dodge of the Dark Binding. He still has the ulti available, but I believe it was Bellows' breath that stopped that one there.
It was the black shield from Ming as well. You've got the double there where you can't try and get onto Bao because of that black shield we talked about. So here we go. Rift Herald in the bottom lane. EDG trying to answer for a tier 2 in the top and that mid lane turret.
I mean, Longxing should be able to find this inner as well. Xiaohu clears the wave through mid. Junji gets poked on down by Betty. Trouble Bolt from downtown almost connects as Hope gets the solo gold top, while RNG get the inner towards the bottom side.
It's a trade to, top tower for bot tower, but the key point here is that you've got a very low mid tower now for RNG, and when we want RNG to be able to push aggressively, start to get these siege potential, all the vision is what they need to set up, and when you lose your mid lane tower, it opens up EDG to start getting some of that vision back, because right now it's heavily RNG favored because they've got the enemy mid lane turret down.
I'm just looking towards the bottom left. You mentioned the black shield. Oh, is that he tried to use it on the jungle?
There's a double here. You can either use it on towards the person who's tanking the turret is what you usually want to do, which is why we saw the black shield onto Bao to stop that option, and as well Longxing going with the Bellows Breath. So even if he tried to pull him in, it was a no-go scenario while the CC chain was being set up.
Audi being heavily focused here in this third game. You can see that he's 0-3. Is going towards the Nash's Tooth second, so obviously he wants to sit in the side lane and duel for a little bit longer. While we look across at the other items on the board, you need to track Hope here. He's almost towards the IE, his second item, versus Betty, who's obviously a cheaper build, but has got his lethality second coming through.
And that's the point, is you've got a cheaper build in lethality, but you're being matched by Hope, who's powering ahead thanks to all the gold he's gotten so far. So it's Hope who's going to be very much ahead when it comes to damaging these fights, if he can set up a top lane.
Big on! Longxing says, I am Papa, but good scout of the week here from Scout will stop that in its tracks. Okay, knock up here from Longxing. Bellows Breath. Flash. Oh, scout of the week again. Longxing. Can he do it? Underneath the turret, Scout is now on the run. And this got super interesting, super fast.
Junji and Xiaohu are moving up, though. This is going to be a 2v2.
The Searing Charge now available. Longxing, and he gets Scout of the week yet again. Xiaohu comes on up, misses on Scout. Unleashed power is there? No. It was on cooldown as the Ornn will get traded off in the end, but now Xiaohu on the chase for Junjia, who's just in no man's land.
New challengers are approaching, though. Bao and Betty making their way up, but look towards mid. Hope looking to crack open the mid lane tower while this is all going down.
I mean, we've got so many plays across the map. Audi almost has TP as well. I bet he wish he could join, but Execute coming through from Junjia. Can Xiaohu find him?
The problem, though, is if Junji executes, RNG can go for the dragon. They've now set themselves up on sole points. Oh, he's going for the back. Cheeky.
Right in front of them. Oh, the pings are going down. No one can get back. They thought he was going to execute. That is the biggest 5-head I've ever seen.
RNG, though, will get this dragon. Set
I don't care.
Up. Hope.
Okay, ultimate's going to come through. He gets
Oh, my God, what?
You've always got hope. We said that many times. You've always got hope.
But Xiaolong Bao had Smite.
Doesn't matter, you've always got hope.
Hope shouldn't beat Smite.
EDG just stalled on them in 2 different areas of the map.
EDG are styling on RNG off of that play. Managed to get the back off. Don't manage to get the dragon for RNG. And now, because you've got RNG who are backing, Hope can push in this mid lane. You need members here of RNG to defend the mid lane turret.
Did Shallenbell? I think he smited.
He didn't. He didn't smite.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Because Hope now with the dragon, I mean, we talk about that soul that's coming up, which is Cloud. Would have been great for a team like RNG, as now with EDG back towards the mid lane, looking for this turret that was never finished off. Dark Binding going to be moved away from by Mako.
Keep your eyes on Longxing, though. He's made his way in towards the opposite side of the jungle, trying to see if he can get a flank position off, as EDG now will be moving in to try and defend this top lane vision that they've set up around Baron.
You can see, interesting to see the wards that we look up towards the red side of the map. We got scuttle control for EDG, which is very important. Baron can't be started, can't be threatened, can't be baited at this point. There's RNG back away, teleport being used. Teleport for teleport, he stops it into the death realm. So Longxing can't join the play. Now on the other side,
they don't know where he is, though.
They don't have vision. They're wondering where he is. He's going to come out of it, and EDG are like, where can we find this Ornn? And Audi with another brain play on the side of EDG.
But Longxing was still able to get away. So the way that interaction works is as the teleport goes through, you just move to the furthest portion away. So Longxing still gets over the wall, but they're not able to spot him because they don't have vision on it. So Longxing still gets out. So it's teleport and that ultimate down. But Xiaohu will get the tower in the top lane because everyone committed bots.
I love the vision pings coming down from RNG after that, right? Like, there's a ward in there, guys. And that's the respect you get for TPing in front of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't know where Longxing had TP to, so they don't know which direction to find the angle and do their geometry there. But now RNG will still be back in the bot side with Longxing. Audi no teleport as well. And this kind of favors Longxing because he's been controlling this lane so far. As you can see, a lot of damage still in Ornn's kit.
Not much in Audi's at the moment, as the shield's going to come through for a bit of sustain, as Trouble Bubble gets close to Hope, but he dallies with danger. Now there's a QSS, by the way, so a bit more safety here on the Misfortune. But at 23 minutes in the game and oncoming, RNG have control around this Baron now. Scuttlecrab is spawning. Xiaolong Bao and Ming, Eddie in the mid lane waiting.
The crucial thing here, though, is that with no Longxing for RNG, they're incredibly squishy. So if Scout finds a pick off the Scout of the week, Junji is able to get a pillar alongside Mako, well, then you're in a lot of trouble. So Longxing is going to be forced to group with RNG to make sure that he's there to be the tanky frontliner and set them up for success.
Watching Audi trying to get back into this game, right? 0 and 3 Mordekaiser trying to get this Nash's Tooth as his second item while the ornaments are starting to come through. Dark Binding's looking here from Ming as Junji gets another good hook, but here comes Paul the Forge God from Longxing on top of Scout. Scout of the Week's good, but they launch on him as bullet time comes through as well, but Xiaolong Bao launches down with the Lamb's Respite. Junji tries to get in as well, they get a shutdown as Audi now makes his presence known, but Betty will be able to take him out, and RNG with their first big win in the team fight in this series. And now on top of Hope and Mako, they're trying to run out as well. Xiaohu has the flash over the wall, the Trouble Bubble looking to land. Hope dodges away, one more hit, the burn down here. It's not going to be enough. And RNG have to let those two go. They still win out in the end.
This was a great play from RNG, managing to pick off Scout at the start of that, so he doesn't get as much damage as he would have liked off. Then Hope does get a massive bullet time, but is stopped by the Chains of Corruption, so not able to get the full channel. RNG played this team fight perfectly.
Channeling on top of Scout, that's all you needed to do, and it's good to see them finally come out of this shell.
And there you go, Chains of Corruption onto Hope means he's got to go back. The exhaust then comes through as well, and with all that damage down, they're able to turn onto Audi, who's the only member that's really in their midst that can deal any damage, and RNG are able to pick up that fight. That's why we talked about Longxing needing to be here to start things off. because Junjie thought he'd have a pick on the pillar onto Ming, but Longxing turns that right back around.
And even though you can see at the bottom of your screen, Hope over Betty seems to be the call here, at least for the series or this game as well. Betty still has 3 items, so I think that's a bit disingenuous there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay attention to that, because Betty now has a couple of kills. He's got a bounty on his head as well as pulled on in, caught on out. His mate go here. He's going to be locked on down and he's dead. The bullet time comes through, but to no effect. Now with the call of Forge God on the back line, Longxing flashes over, doesn't get the knock up though. A good scat of the week to disengage, but Xiaohu flashes over, Trouble Bubble lands onto Audi. This ever-chasing fight from RNG doesn't seem to end right now, and Xiaolongbao says, don't worry guys, we can still get the Dragon on top of that already kill.
No steal will come in this time from EDG, and RNG can set themselves up onto that soul point. This is what we talked about when RNG get to these later stage fights. The ornaments are coming through. They're going to look a lot better in these fights. And especially with the way Xiaohu and Betty are playing behind their front line, not being able to be threatened by Scout and Hope, it's far stronger from RNG.
How, when you say there's always hope, well at this point, EDG falling by the wayside. It's only an 800, 900 gold lead here for RNG at 25 minutes, but mention the items that are coming through is into the realm of death. Does Audi win this one? Well, he still has the shield and he has Hope on the way, but Xiaolongbao looking to match here is out of the death realm. Now, going to pull in Longxing back in. Hope joins the fray. That's a good ultimate from Xiaolongbao, but he's caught on it with Mako joining in as well. But the knockup comes through and Hope goes down. A big shutdown, in fact, to Xiaolongbao, but a 2-for-1, still a net win for EDG.
With Hope going down, it means that EDG can't do anything off of this play. They would have loved to be able to turn towards the Baron or the likes of that, but unfortunately, no AD carry means they can't do anything. So RNG will be able to push out these waves, and even Xiaohu putting a bit of pressure on towards this top turret.
Note that the 2-and-4 Mordekaiser has a bounty. Starting to get back into this game. Audi had massive shutdowns, killing Xiaolongbao there, I believe, and also in the previous fight, I think he killed the Kindred again. So this has been Audi returning to his strength that we saw in the previous games past. However, for RNG, you got to remember that Xiaolongbao getting the shutdown there. This is still a very big Kindred, and RNG still have the tools to continue pushing out this game.
So we've got to look at EDG and how they set up for these fights, because RNG, we know they're in the lead right now. They're doing a stellar job of pushing that advantage. But EDG, if they maybe can find a fight where Audi's able to pull out the likes of Longxing, well then the rest of EDG can try and overrun the weaker, squishier members of RNG. Now though, RNG are playing pretty confident though.
Forward, it's Ming trying to land a Dark Binding. It's Mako who got caught before while 2 members start up this Baron. Xiaolongbao, remember, epically fed. He can do this.
Longxing's free to tank forever. I mean, this is a very big Ornn right now, and EDG have no idea this is going down.
No, they do. The pings are going down on top of the Baron. They're now going to say, okay, we're on the way. Xiaohu and Betty looking to zone them out. Mako walking through the pit as well. The Trouble Bubble dodged away by Hope as Xiaohu runs on in yet again. Change Corruption does land onto this Nautilus, and Hope now is positioning with the Lamb's Respite used early. Call the Forge God though to re-engage. It's Hope now looking to take on Xiaohu, but there's the cleanse away again. Ming goes golden with the chains unleashed, but 5 members make the turn from EDG, and Xiaohu can't get the re-engage. That's a big pick.
It's a terrible ultimate from Xiaolongbao. Threw down the Lamb's Respite way too early, which means, oh, hang on, Xiaohu.
Okay, he doesn't have the QSS this time. Is he burnt down? Almost. Big Zoe, but okay, life still comes through.
That Vamp Scepter is clutch there. Holy moly.
Hello, Scuttle Crab, just given over to Hope as well. Xiaohu almost caught out with the pillar. He's looking for picks, and in previous games, Xiaohu has been the weakness. It seems here he is the strength.
And now we're looking at EDG finding that fight. We said, look, if they can get in, maybe they can disrupt RNG. And when Longxing is playing from the back line, they can't get that turnaround in the way they would have liked to. You get that big ultimate, the Call of the Forge God only hitting onto Junjie, and that's not the targets you need. And even with Xiaohu playing off on the side, trying to threaten Hope, the QSS comes in big to keep Hope in the fight.
Every time we see these kind of skirmishes or big moments, Audi's picking up the goal. Hope was the early game, and it's still going to be probably the rest of the game if EDG can do something here. But Audi is quickly becoming a condition that RNG need to be made aware of. Watch this Mordekaiser in the upcoming fights, while Xiaohu and Betty again are big as Longxing. No, you can't. Searing charge through that. Scatter the weak. top laner caught on out here, but he's tanky enough. Maybe the re-engage with Ming speeding him up with the Shirelles, wherever his unleashed powers there. May go for the re-engage. Through and choke, they use the Lamb's Respite, but the Scatter of the Week sends them to the left, and Audi picks up another. RNG in a choke, no. As Betty moves back to the mid lane, he gets rid of the Banshee's Veil. And EDG now big death timers to work with.
RNG just need to play front to back, but every time they're in these weird positions throughout this series. Longxing now caught out. EDG can turn on this, and when we talked about how squishy the rest of RNG are, if EDG turn, they will drop.
They need a steal here. Xiaolongbao needs to come up big, and so does Xiaohu and Betty, who finds the pick immediately. EDG peel away from the Baron. Rather, it's forceful that RNG in a 3 versus 5 still win out.
And EDG, we said, need to turn, because what's happening with RNG is you've got a bunch of poke from Xiaohu, from Betty.
They think they're backing. They think they're backing. There's no ward directly in the pit. EDG have skirmished out as the redemption's coming on in. Now the teleport from Longxing. Audi and Junjia are low. They're going to rush for the Baron, but they're probably going to die in the process. The smite is secure, but Longxing into the pit finds the shutdown onto the Mordekaiser, while Junjia is going to sacrifice his life as well. Mako died before, so only 2 will exit with the sneaky Baron.
There will be the Cloud Soul going over to RNG. Xiaolongbao will pick that up. But they do come away with the Baron as EDG. The question is, though, with 36 seconds on Audi, with 30 seconds on Junjia, what can RNG get in the meantime?
Cloud Soul with a team like RNG. Okay, Ming is probably going to be benefiting the most here. And so is Longxing.
Xiaohu as well. Think about how often you can
Mako,
portal.
is he caught out? No, because Hope just goes boom. Mako run. Call the Fort God coming through from Longxing. What do they want to achieve? They find the knock-up on the AD carry. They're looking for a dive here with the Cloud Soul available. Xiaohu for the poke over the wall doesn't find it. But RNG with all that pressure might be able to secure mid. And there it goes.
So this is just off the death timers we were saying from EDG being down. But RNG, they still have fight in them. This is still an incredibly close series. And
much better.
Especially as we talk about with this Cloud Soul, Longxing can do work with it. Xiaohu in particular can do a lot because those portal jumps will then obviously hit onto a massive target, chunk them out. But Xiaohu with that speed up can then get more ramping damage off of his paddle stars as he runs in and out of these fights. So keep your eyes on Xiaohu. This is such a big Cloud Soul for Xiaohu.
And this is a big moment for RNG. Remember, single elimination, best of 5. If EDG win this game, RNG are out in the first round, which has never been done before. There's been times where RNG have not made playoffs entirely, but there's never been a time where RNG have made playoffs and have exited earlier than this. Because this is the first round, you can't exit earlier than this, but this would be a shock to the world here even in spring.
So RNG haven't missed summer playoffs, or haven't missed playoffs since summer 2015. That's how long ago it's been since RNG were not one of the top dogs in the LPL.
Yeah.
Now, though, that reign has been called into question by EDG, and RNG will be forced to answer with a Call of the Forge God.
Okay, it's important, but Longxing doesn't find it. The pillar from Junjia again. This guy is a troll.
He's a troll, he's playing the troll, and he is king of the trolls for EDG, keeping themselves in line here. That is a big ultimate down for RNG, and now EDG can start to push forward aggressively. The poke from Betty and Xiaohu needs to be on point.
But remember, if you're talking about poke, I mean, the Baron minions are waving through 35 seconds. Luckily, the wave clear is still there for RNG. EDG will have to peel back and look for other options.
EDG are not as strong as RNG when it comes to these sieges, though. Xiaohu can play off behind the walls, get these paddle stars, the bubbles. Same with Betty, who can get a lot of poke onto the likes of Hope. So it's more about spreading out this Baron buff, but it's only there for 10 more seconds, so they need to get a bottom lane play.
They will with the rotation here from RNG. Scout Banshee's Veil going to be used here. The pull in from Audi as Xiaohu over, takes one chunk, and Ming, the double up follows through. Flashed away from the Dark Binding as the Trouble Bubble flies on down. EDG grouping up. They're not able to get the turret with the rest of the Baron. They will leave, and RNG hold on.
Now we got to look at 3 minutes apart for both the Elder Dragon and the Baron. This is where we'll see this name being stamped. Can RNG take over game number 3 and push us to a game number 4? Or can EDG close it out in a clean sweep?
It's item checkup time. We already saw the Dead Man's Plate from Audi, who's level 17, and again, who is caught up to this Ornn in the top lane and is starting to be a threat himself. Spectral Cow on the way. More importantly, though, I want you to note that 4 items for Hope with Mercurial Scimitar now finished. Also, other AD carry with the upgraded Youmu's on the side of Betty, plus Xiaohu with a Rabadon Step.
So what we need to see here for RNG is for Betty to try and pop this Banshee's Veil, because that sets up for Xiaohu to deal that damage that will really stick, or even get the likes of this Trouble Bubble onto Scout or onto Hope. Unfortunately though, for Xiaohu, with that Mercurial Scimitar available for Hope, it goes out the window in trying to first pick off Hope, so it needs to be Scout that they're working in tandem with Betty to pick off.
You know what interests me? Xiaolongbao has a Renan's Hurricane as a kindred with Black Cleaver. Now, you know what this tells me? That with Betty's, lethality build, we know what lethality virus is like. If Xiaolongbao goes in first, Betty pokes from the rear. That armor shredding comes in handy, and that lethality does a bit more.
It does very much work against Audi and Junji in this case as well.
Smart.
So you've got these two tanky frontliners that you're going to be able to spread those cleave stacks onto. So it makes the most sense in this scenario, and not surprised to see Xiaolongbao picking up that item.
Got a QSS as well, so no Mordekaiser Death Realm. We've got to look across the board because now that EDG are getting pushed in the mid lane, RNG have control around this Dragon area. That seems to be their priority.
Look at the side waves though. RNG need to try and get these in check. Top and bot are pushing, and with just a minute left until these big objectives spawn.
Walking blind here, but going to use the Dead Man's Blade. He thinks he can take it out, but Mako gets poked down and he's dead. Bullet time comes on through, but EDG are walking into this. While meanwhile, Unleash Power onto Xiaohu. He has to flash away while Scout does the same here. The mid laner from EDG looking to take on all forms of RNG. That's a pick onto Mako, but low health bars of RNG means they have to back away.
And now you got 30 seconds until the support is up, but a lot of these big ultimates that we talked about are down. Luckily for RNG, they got the double cloud though, so their ultimates will be on a much shorter cooldown, or at least a 10% shorter cooldown compared to EDG.
Oh yeah, I didn't do the math. I didn't do the math. I apologize. Dacta, you can do math. It's very impressive.
I know, while talking. Look,
dude,
this
you
is
know,
why
5 head, let's go you a 6 head. We go beyond. We're Giga Universe brainers. Now, Elder, 15 seconds. Baron 5, but we're all down towards the bottom side of this map. You talked about the ultis not available. Bullet time still not up. Depth charges there. Unleash Power there. Also, the Death Realm for Aldi is there too, because he's waiting in a flanking position.
The Lamb's Respite not being up for Xiaolongbao is the big one though. RNG will just look to keep these waves pushing in to try and keep EDG out of the river until that big ultimate is up. Audi though, looking for the flank.
Xiaolongbao here by himself. He's walking into the brush. Audi was a moment too late. Or rather
Audi didn't want to fight that. Audi wanted to get out of there because they didn't know where the rest of RNG were. And especially when they can dip straight into river, they'd be able to get over towards that fight faster. Now though, Elder Dragon started, EDG need to get in here.
Audi's now repositioned with the rest of the team. At 7k is the Elder. 5 members channeling through. Juju almost dies from the poke here. They need to go in now with the Unleashed Power and the Chain Corruption landing on top of Audi. 2k now. The steal is impossible. No! Secured by RNG. They have the execution available. Lunging onto the back line of Hope. The execution not there because he goes golden, but EDG is so damn low. Here it comes, the great scat of the week, but not enough because Elder Dragon gives a triple kill to a damn Ornn. And Royal Never Give Up finally edged their name somewhere in this series.
The bellows breath is the roar from RNG as they manage to take out the Elder Dragon. They will pick off EDG and they will push us to a game 4.
Finally something here as Xiao gets that one blind easily. The full-blown ace as EDG have to watch on in horror as their 3-0 dream is crushed right here and RNG start the journey for that reverse sweep. Finally a breath of fresh air with RNG succeeding.
Finally.